Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Green Lantern Talks About. This episode is brought to you by Poggers Energy Drinks. Use the URL on screen to save 10%. Today, I need to discuss Amazon Prime's War of the Worlds, starring Ice Cube and Eva Longoria. This movie is receiving a lot of negative reviews online, and I'm here to set the record straight. It has earned every bit of it. There are movies that ask you to suspend your belief about one element, maybe two. This movie asks you to suspend everything you know. That in and of itself is not a bad thing, but you have to make the reasons I'm suspending my beliefs credible in the world in which the movie takes place. War of the Worlds 2025 does not do that. Ice Cube's character, Will, is a surveillance analyst working for the NSA, a stretch for his skills based on most of the roles he's played before, but I am all for trying new things. And Will is either intentionally avoiding increased responsibility or his supervisors don't know what he is truly capable of, and somehow both of those could be true and false at the same time. Will possesses the Schrodinger cat of skill sets because apparently Will can patch into anything connected to the internet. His supervisors ask him to brief the presidents of the United States when things get bad, which leads me to believe that his supervisor knows his capabilities. But Will later asks for access to clearance 2 levels above his own to patch into a drone, which leads me to believe that his supervisor doesn't know his skill set, or else he would have that clearance. Eva Longoria plays Dr. Sandra Salas, who works at NASA studying weather phenomena. Is it possible that these two met through work? Yeah, sure. Are they childhood friends? Don't know. They didn't say. What I do know is that it is highly unlikely that someone who works at NASA looking at unusual weather patterns is not going to call a surveillance analyst in the NSA to ask if he knows what's going on with strange weather phenomena. Then we have the Disruptor, a proxy for the current day hacktivists. The Disruptor has been eluding Will in the NSA for about a year, and there's a current operation going on to close in on him. So Will is juggling talking to Sandra, locating the Disruptor, tracking a third person named Faith, who we find out later is his pregnant daughter, who attends Georgetown University, the father of her child, Mark, who is in a not so shameless plug, works for Amazon as a delivery person. And he's fielding calls from his son, Dave, who called to ask if Will had remotely deleted the game that he was playing at the time. As Operation Get the Disruptor is going on, meteors start falling, and the brilliant Dr. Silas is going to walk towards one to investigate. No hazmat suit, no face covering, not so much as a pair of nitrile gloves. Just a pantsuit and the indomitable plot armor of someone has to know what this is. The meteor cracks open, revealing a mechanical tripodal being inside. Let the reign of destruction begin. Havoc is being wreaked all over the globe, just so that you know the scale of the threat posed upon humanity. Will does what is apparently his superpower and begins patching into various devices to see what's going on around the world, thanks to Five Eyes. Look it up, it's a thing. But more importantly, is also to check on his daughter during all of the chaos. The classic trope of being unable to get through communication lines happens when it's convenient to raise the drama level, and it goes away when it's necessary for dialogues to occur. Well, Faith is injured during her attempt to find cover from the being attacks. Through a few tappity tap tap taps of the keyboard, Will discovers all the hospitals in the greater DC area are full, and she will have to travel further out. But how to get there with her injuries? No worries. Will just hacks into a Tesla that happens to be nearby, activates the auto navigation, psh, off she goes, until we need our heartstrings tugged on again. The world governments are trying to devise a plan to combat the beings when Dr. Silas tells Will the beings change direction. Will, with more magical strokes on the keyboard of all knowledge, is able to determine the beings seem to be heading towards specific targets, data centers. Will asks Dr. Silas to go on to a data center that happens to be about 2 blocks away from her. Surmising that this is where the beings are going, she is more than willing to go there. She arrives to find a tentacle like appendage breach the data center and connect it to the mainframe or server or whatever, right? But she also finds these mini bots that are kind of swarm all over her. More taps on the all knowing keyboard, and Will discovers that the servers are in. Hold on, let me check my notes here. Hyper download. And it is then revealed that the aliens want our data. A movie shown on Amazon portrays an invasion of beings that want our data. I can't. I just can't. So after the data center is drained from all of its, well, data, and other data centers are being drained of all of their data, the internet ceases to exist as we know it. But not just that, it's all the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connections are being shown is going down everywhere except where Will works, and wherever anyone that the plot dictates he needs to speak to. Will gets information showing the government knew this was a possibility if they started up a surveillance system named Goliath. Will confronts his supervisor. His supervisor locks Will out of the system. The disruptor contacts Will and grants him access back into the system so that Will could get back to work. Will is brought into the disruptor's hacktivist group so that they could come up with a virus to stop the aliens. They upload the virus, but it doesn't work. Then Dr. Salas calls with pertinent information that the mini robots are part machine, part organic. They have what appears to be blood cells, which means that they have a DNA of sorts. Guess who happens to be working on a cannibalism cell that would eliminate targeted cells? Well, if you guess Faith, his daughter, you win the prize. So Faith sends Dave the DNA sequence of her project so that he could translate the DNA sequence to a code and write essentially what is a biotech virus and uploads that to the network to infect all the remaining data centers. Just in time, too, because while all of that was going on, the president had authorized dropping big things that go boom on the NSA DSH. That's to prevent the aliens from getting to the servers that would operate Goliath. This movie continuously asks me to suspend my belief and just accept what is on screen without trying to make what was on screen believable. I give War of the Worlds 2025 0 out of 5 lantern rings. If you want to watch it, be my guest. But don't say that you weren't warned. As always, I'm Green Lantern, and you're awesome. Thank you for watching.